my God! That's a big ass gator, buddy.
There's the fish, there it is. There we go.
In the depths and darkness of the water, there are creatures so bizarre you would have to see them to believe they are real.
As anything named after a wolf would suggest, they are intimidating master predators.
While you might not bump into them on a casual swim, let's dive into some wild moments where anglers unexpectedly caught magnificent, sometimes terrifying catches. Number 1, scary surprise. This dad and daughter duo were fishing in a small kayak when their line hooked something big. The dad was eager to bring in their catch, but as he kept pulling, he realized they'd snagged something scarier than a fish, an enormous alligator.
Thought we were gonna pick up that line and see a little fish, and lo and behold, we had an encounter that we'll probably never forget.
The moment he saw that deadly snout breaking the surface, he tossed the fishing gear aside and started paddling away as fast as he could, with his daughter in the back screaming for him to paddle faster. Fishing in waters where the alligators are bigger than your kayak, probably not the brightest idea. Number 2, Salpa Magor. These anglers thought they spotted some plastic waste or a jellyfish near the surface, so they scooped it up with a hand net. But surprise, surprise, it wasn't trash or a jellyfish, but something way weirder and more fascinating. This barrel-shaped creature is almost transparent, with tiny, dark-colored tentacles. While some people commonly refer to it as a transparent jellyfish, it's not even a fish. It's a type of sea squirt. And just because it is see-through doesn't mean it's simple. These guys are complex organisms with all sorts of internal structures. The transparency, just an adaptation to thrive in their environment. Number 3, Wolfish. Now we have another angler reeling in a creature from the cold depths whose teeth are straight out of a nightmare.
You may see the way this guy chomps down on a sea urchin like it just doesn't even feel its spines on its throat. His teeth are pretty worn down from years after eating stuff like that.
Meet the Wolfish, named for its cone-shaped fang-like teeth that jut out from both jaws. These teeth give the wolfish a sinister predator look, like the ocean's version of a wolf. But here's the good news for humans who enjoy a dip in the sea. These fish are weak swimmers and prefer to chill on the rocky ocean floor. So, the chances of those fearsome teeth getting anywhere near you are pretty low. Despite their frightening appearance, they rarely go after fish and choose to feed on sea urchins and crabs. So, while wolffish appear to be scary predators, they are actually harmless to people and other fish and play an important part in the marine ecosystem. It just goes to prove that you shouldn't judge a fish by its fangs. Number 4, Frilled Shark. Next, we are off to Japan, where a fisherman snagged a live frilled shark, also known as a living fossil, because they haven't changed much in millions of years. These sharks have 6 pairs of feathery gills along the sides of their heads, which give them a seriously creepy vibe, paired with rows of trident-shaped teeth. These fish are rarely observed because they live in the ocean's darkest depths. So, throwing a deep-sea dweller into a tiny aquarium, not the brightest idea. The poor thing looked like it was desperately trying to find its way back to the deep, and it didn't survive the attempt. Maybe next time, let's leave these fascinating creatures where they belong. Number 5, River Monster. Picture a creature with an alligator's snout, but designed to swim in rivers. It sounds like science fiction fantasy. Well, they are authentic and have existed for millions of years. They are known as alligator gars. This lucky fisherman could catch one so large that he could barely lift it himself. Now, I have to hand it to him, he is braver than most. If I had come face to face with a beast like that, I would reconsider any future river trips. But our thoughtful fisherman put a leash on the giant, keeping it in the water to get some oxygen while they observed it. Fun fact, these gars can breathe air too. It's like they paused halfway through evolution.
This creature is very much the top predator in the water these days, and that's a double row of teeth it's got on the upper jaw.
After taking measurements, they released the 7-foot-long river monster back into the wild, and you can bet they got out of that river real quick. Number 6, River Serpent. While filming on a river in Ireland, these guys spotted something unexplainable. Sure, there are whales in these waters, but with its ridged back, this creature looked like nothing anyone had seen before. In the comments of the original video, one marine science expert pointed out that the movements of this creature resembled a snake-like body. So, what do you think? Did these guys capture the Loch Ness Monster on camera, or was it something else entirely? Number 7. Cyclops Shark. The following catch, made off the coast of Mexico, looks like it swam right out of a horror movie. The fishermen initially caught a bull shark, but they realized it was pregnant when they brought it ashore. Out of the 10 3-month-old fetuses inside, one had a deformity like no other. This baby shark had just one eye smack in the middle of its head and was also albino. Although it might not have survived long after birth, catching it before it was even born gave us a peek at how freaky nature can get. Number 8. 1-ton manta ray. While fishing off the coast of Peru, some fishermen caught a 26-foot-long manta ray that blew their minds. Back in the day, these giant rays were feared by Peruvians, and when you see the size of one, it's easy to understand why. But even with their reputation, pulling this massive creature out of the water was something the fishermen had never witnessed before. This manta ray weighed more than a ton and required a crane to return it to the ocean. Fortunately, following years of research, people now know these gentle giants are harmless to humans. So, the locals could soak in the sight of this magnificent being without a hint of fear before it swam off into the deep once again. Number 9. Long oarfish. Long oarfish are mysterious creatures that hang out thousands of feet deep in the ocean. Still, a lucky snorkeler, Jasmina Santana, spotted one while casually diving off the coast of California. Imagine her shock when she came face to face with the eyes of an 18-foot-long, ribbon-like fish. She carefully approached, only to find it was already dead. Determined to bring it ashore, she started pulling, and soon other snorkelers joined in. It took a whopping 15 people to haul this magnificent creature out of the water.
The illness and strong currents may play a role in some of these events.
With this new specimen, scientists are eager to learn more about these elusive fish and figure out how this deep-sea dweller ended up in shallow water in the first place. Number 10. Lyre-tail Pleco. Texan YouTuber. Ty Klebe travels the globe, filming himself catching some truly crazy fish. But even with all the wild things he's seen, the creature that latched onto his line in Colombia left him completely speechless. Covered in spines, this oddball fish is known as a lyre-tail Pleco. Usually they are dark-colored, but not this one. It's albino, making it even rarer. With a feathered face, wing-like fins, spines everywhere, and an enormous size, the anglers were convinced they hooked an alien. It turns out that it's not from outer space, but from the armored catfish family. Still, seeing it up close, you would swear it's straight out of a sci-fi flick. Number 11. Weird Chimera. I am unsure if ghosts are real, but the next creature caught by Russian fishermen sure looks like one. Known as chimeras, these ancient deep-sea creatures are closely related to sharks and rays. Their big white eyes, which give them that ghostly appearance, are perfectly adapted to the dark, helping them soak up any available light. Chimeras usually look pale and eerie, earning them the nickname ghost sharks. But the one they caught, even by ghost shark standards, it's on another level of weird. This one was dark-colored, and while some chimeras have big snouts, this one's was extra long. Number 12. Sea lamprey. And these fishermen were doing their thing in Buzzards Bay near Massachusetts when they reeled in a striped bass with a bit of extra baggage, a parasitic hitchhiker. Meet the sea lamprey, a real-life vampire of the ocean. These eel-like creatures don't have jaws. Instead, they have a suction cup mouth filled with sharp, circular teeth, perfect for latching on to other fish and feeding on their blood and bodily fluids. While they might look small and harmless to you, it is better to maintain your distance, because if they manage to latch onto your skin,
And that's a strange feeling. That's a very strange feeling. There's suction, but there's something sharp going on as well.
getting them off would be a painful experience, as their tiny sharp teeth dig into you for a taste of your blood. There's a reason they are called vampire fish. Number 13, Coffin Ray. Fishing off the coast of Sydney, Australia, these anglers reeled in something shocking. Literally, meet the Coffin Ray, a fish endemic to Australian waters and packs an electric punch of over 200 volts. While it's not enough to be fatal, it will make you jump. The fisherman, being smart, handled this shocking creature carefully and tossed it back into the water without making contact. But of course, the next group of Aussie lads couldn't resist having a bit of fun. They caught one and held it by the tail with bare hands, and one guy even tried to kiss it. Luckily, he stopped short, but that didn't last long.
You fucking shocked me. Like an electric pen.
Number 14, Venomous Fish. Some fishing enthusiasts hunted for rare catches when they hit the jackpot with a scorpion fish. This bizarre-looking fish isn't just a visual oddity. It has venomous dorsal spines that can deliver a painful sting.
Spine of this extraordinary-looking fish are 13 venomous spines.
Scorpion fish are masters of disguise, often blending in with stones or coral, so stepping on one by mistake is not the surprise you want. While its venom isn't deadly to humans, the same cannot be said for their close cousins, the stonefish. Stonefish spend most of their time resting on the seabed, waiting for unsuspecting prey to pass and ambush them. These anglers snagged one from the ocean floor, and its weird face looked up at them like it was plotting its next move. Number 15, Dragonfish. Razor-sharp teeth, bloody eyes, and a pitch-black body might give you goosebumps, but don't worry. This creature is relatively smaller than most of the evil-looking creatures out there. Meet the dragonfish, one of the most fascinating deep-sea dwellers on the planet. Sure, it's small, but it lives in the dark depths where light is a luxury, so it creates its own. Those eerie red spots under its eyes? Yep, that's bioluminescence at work.
And the two photophores are clearly visible under each eye.
Number 16, Lucky Family. In early 2017, an Irish fishing crew was just trying to catch some fish near the Porcupine Bank, but what they hauled up in their net left them absolutely floored. A giant squid. These creatures usually hang out in the deep sea, so snagging one in a fishing net is about as rare as finding a needle in a haystack. This beast was about 19 feet long, with tentacles stretching over 30 feet.
Squid of this size, only 5 have been recorded since records began almost 350 years ago.
But the craziness didn't stop there. Just a few months later, it happened again. Another giant squid, even bigger and better. And get this, back in 1995, the father of one of these fishermen caught not one, but 2 giant squids in the same year. Number 17, Sawfish. If the weird monsters of the deep haven't scared you yet, this one just might. Meet the extremely rare sawfish, which has a unique serrated snout. These anglers caught a 17-foot-long beast, and that snout, it's not a decorative feature. The sawfish uses it for hunting and defense.
It's 1.5 feet long. It's got 39 of those teeth. Each one is about 1 inch long, wickedly sharp.
Stunning or injuring prey to eat or fending off predators. It can even dig for buried prey, so it's born with a built-in weapon on its head. And as if the snout wasn't enough, the sawfish also sports 3 massive fins on its back. This monstrous creature understandably freaked out the anglers. Can you blame them? Getting the hook out was so difficult that they eventually cut the cable and let the fish swim back to the depths. It was one heck of a catch, but it's better to leave these giants alone for marine life preservation. Number 18, Proboscis Worm. Now, we have got a creature that genuinely behaves like it's from another planet. They are called worms, but aren't worms, and sometimes they look like ribbon-shaped eels, but that's not the weirdest part. The proboscis shoots out of their body and spreads like tree branches. These creatures can spit out this proboscis and pull it back in, but in extreme cases, it can even detach from their body and grow back later.
These worms can regenerate their proboscis, and they can go without food for a long time while they wait for it to regenerate.
The proboscis is mainly used to capture prey, but sometimes they use it to confuse predators or even move around. Whatever it's for, watching those proboscises shoot out and spread is enough to give anyone the creeps. Number 19, fastest fish. Buckle up for this catch because this fish is the ocean's version of Fast and Furious. The sailfish is the fastest fish humans know, hitting up to 70 miles per hour. You can guess where it gets its name. The big magnificent backfin that looks just like a sail, with a sword-like snout and that blistering speed. Its prey doesn't stand a chance.
It's just this streamlined tubular shape, built for speed, very characteristic shaped tail, like a bit of aeronautical engineering.
Even when hooked by anglers, this fish can break the line with sheer force and speed, pulling off some impressive jumps to shake free, so catching one and bringing it on board. That's a serious achievement. It's like nature hand picked this fish, gave it the sleekest design with a pointed mouth and elegant dorsal fin, and then threw in the top speed just for fun. Talk about overachieving. Number 20, giant squid. Remember those two giant squids caught by the Irish crew? In Japan, some fishermen trawling for flatfish and crabs managed to snag an 11-foot-long giant squid with tentacles stretching over 25 feet. And this one was alive when they brought it on board from a depth of around 790 feet. By the time this 220-pound beast was brought ashore, it had unfortunately passed away. Number 21, Monkfish Bite. Monkfish are bottom dwellers with large, flat heads and wide mouths, making them one bizarre-looking catch. But this fisherman learned the hard way just how strong their bite can be. Even out of the water, stuck in their fishing net, one monkfish decided it wasn't going down without a fight, latching onto the angler's hand with a grip that would make a bulldog jealous. The fisherman's buddies had to pry the monster off, using a wooden plank and a knife. Once the monkfish finally let go, the fisherman, despite the agony, was still game to take a closer look at the creature. Those small, sharp teeth must have caused severe pain, but that didn't stop him from holding the monkfish up and smiling for the camera. So, if you ever encounter one of these bizarre guys, keep your limbs far from their voracious vibes. Number 22, Remora. This angler pulled in a massive remora, and at first glance, it might look a bit ordinary compared to some of the wild creatures on this list, but don't let its appearance fool you. This fish has a superpower right on its head. That flat thing you see, it's a specialized dorsal fin that acts like a high-tech suction cup, allowing the remora to stick to pretty much anything it wants. These guys are the ocean's ultimate hitchhikers, latching onto bigger fish, boats, or even divers for a free ride. And don't think they're clinging on because they can't swim. They can. But why waste energy when you've got a free ride? These fish can even stick to the side of a boat. And if you're diving where they live, one might even attach to you. No need to panic, just enjoy the ride while it lasts. Number 23, stuck. During a fishing trip in Long Island, a dangerous shark appeared unexpectedly. It jumped right onto the boat and got stuck in the protective railing. This poor creature was flailing around, trying to break free, but the anglers, well, their reaction wasn't exactly heroic. Instead of helping, they were laughing, and one genius even suggested letting the shark stuck there. Meanwhile, the shark's facial expression showed it had enough of these guys and their nonsense. After a long struggle, the shark finally wiggled back into the ocean. Thanks for nothing, humans. Number 24, Sarcastic Fringe Head. Can you imagine what a fish with a name like that would be like? This small, crazy-looking creature is capable of some jaw-dropping feats, literally. While they might look pretty tame when reeled in by an angler deep down in the ocean, they are a different beast. Hanging out at the bottom of the sea, their most shocking feature is their ability to open their mouths more than 10 times wider than their body size. They use this party trick as a defense mechanism against predators, but they'll also show it off when fighting over burrow territory with their own kind. Luckily for us, they are usually only about 6 inches long. Just imagine a shark-sized fish with that kind of jaw. Now that would be terrifying, right? Number 25. Ribbonfish, Oarfish. The giants of the deep sea we saw earlier on the list are also known as ribbonfish due to their slim, elongated bodies. But that term is also used to describe smaller animals that swim in the open ocean, and they are just as fascinating as the deep sea dwellers. Watch as this angler hauls in a few to showcase their striking appearance. But in some parts of the world, their distinct flavor and the fact that they're super easy to clean and cook makes them an eating delicacy. So, would you be up for trying this oceanic oddity? Number 26. Lancet Fish. Some fishermen spotted a creepy-looking fish struggling near the shore, and what's even more bizarre is that these creatures usually hang out more than a mile deep in the ocean. Known as Lancet Fish, they are one of the largest deep-sea fish and have seriously sharp teeth, which they sometimes use to chow down on their kind. But it's their super excellent dorsal fin that steals the show. It's unclear how this uncommon deep-sea fish ended up on the Washington shore, but some good Samaritans decided to help it get back into the water. Unfortunately, when deep-sea dwellers like this end up on the shore, it usually indicates that they aren't doing so well and can't navigate effectively anymore. At least they tried to give it a fighting chance. Number 27. Ratfish. This fisherman managed to snag a ghost shark in his net. This one is slightly different from the Russian fisherman's catch, but it's a true illusion with that eerie, ghostly appearance. Are those big reflective eyes catching the flashlight? It's pure nightmare fuel. It's like any second now, this fish will jump out of the screen and give you a heart attack. Number 28. Lionfish. These strikingly beautiful fish might look tiny and harmless, but as with anything this pretty, there's always a catch. With lionfish, it's their venom. One brave snorkeler decided to catch this little menace with a hand net, giving us a close-up of this fascinating yet terrifying creature. With those long, flowing fins that make them look like they're rocking a lion's mane, these fish have quietly wreaked havoc on marine ecosystems. They don't have any natural enemies, so they're out here taking over territories like underwater mob bosses. So this tiny lionfish isn't just dangerous to humans, it's a problem for nature itself. Number 29. Giant Sturgeon. These fishermen were cruising over the waters of Canada's Fraser River, looking to catch sturgeons, the ancient giants of the rivers. But nothing could have prepared them for the huge beast they ended up reeling in. The sturgeon was so massive that their measuring tape couldn't even cover it, and they estimated it to be around 140 years old. After tagging it to maintain track of this threatened animal that has existed since the dinosaurs, the fishermen returned it to the river. And while these gentle giants may appear scary, there's no need to panic. They primarily munch on little insects and plants. So, if you ever swim near one, you're entirely safe. Just don't provoke them, because with that size and strength, they could pack a punch if they feel threatened. So, what do you think of these incredible catches? Which creature left you the most shocked? And have you ever encountered a fish so bizarre you couldn't believe it was real? Tell me all about it in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye.